We start base level with us as people in our terrestrial kind of how we live and our kind of day-to-day kind of nuance of life. And we're all hit with this massive problem. And it's how we come together and how we do that is how we had to figure out how to tell the story. And Roland's concept on the whole thing was, let's keep it very, very real. Let's keep it really original and very heartfelt, because these characters, each and every one of them, have something inside and outside they need to share. Well, Roland's vision is all about scale and the human contact with that scale. He's got heartfelt characters that are thrown into impossible situations. And nothing is too big for him to approach and to tackle and to and really just maximize the scale of the event. And that's why I love it. It's a real challenge each and every time we work together, and it's an honor. The stage is a better format for Roland in which he can operate with freedom, with the viewpoint of what's to come. He's an effects genius. So in essence, if we go to location and really try to pull the specific things that really make a location effective for the storytelling, we'll do it. Bottom line, we had one massive exterior sequence that we had to do because it all happens in daylight and it happens at scale. There's not a stage big enough to do it. But past that, everything became something that we designed, created, and built on stage, and then we would really very quickly move it, change it, slide it away so the next piece of business can come in. So I think Roland's expertise is how do you tell a giant story in a very efficient way. We've been really fortunate to have NASA as a partner in the storytelling and in the movie. And they've been nothing but gracious in telling us what the shuttle missions would have been. We actually acquired a space shuttle cockpit interior that is actually one of the training programs interiors that was set aside because it's an old technology, but it happened to be available. And with NASA's help and in Florida, we contacted the people who own the piece itself and asked if we can make use of it and turn it all on and bring it to life. And what I'm very, very happy about is that we've created, I believe, the most accurate interior of the space shuttle that is in a movie today. There's nothing that all the systems work. They're in the right orientation. The seats are accurate, are appropriate. The lighting is all there. The details to the handwritten, scribbled charts that we may need are in there. And we were able to get it here in Montreal, kind of break it apart a bit so we can kind of use different techniques in which to show weightlessness and how they would actually, the pilot, co-pilot, and people would operate the spacecraft on its way to the moon. I got to tell you, there's some great minds and Roland is the greatest of minds, because he has the imagination, the insight, and the knowledge, and the ability to let it happen and make it happen. And we're all along for the ride, and it led to some really fantastic discussions, very incredible things of learning. I mean, my knowledge of physics has been, dramatically increased because of just conversations at 8 o'clock in the morning. So with that in mind, it's really, it lends itself to Roland's idea of telling a realistic story about a nightmarish possibility. During this chase sequence, the moon is on one of its very fast elliptical orbits, very close to Colorado, which is ripping the Earth basically apart at the same time. So during this incredible car chase, there's mountains that are shifting, trees are flying, buildings are being shifted, the landmass is changing, and these guys are driving their Lexus through all this thing and making sure they survive. And not only are they battling the people chasing them, they're battling the environment that's happening around them. So what Roland did is he prevised the entire sequence, and it became this incredibly fun ride, and he knew what he needed to shoot and how he would shoot it and what we would not need. And through it, we figured that we can put them on a stage, blinding snowstorm at the same time, but only when there's impact, only when the car flies over a gorge with some gravitational help and crash lands into a forest, and when it stops is what we build when they get out of their car. So the entire sequence was created bigger than we could possibly build. The car is not even on the market yet, the one we've used. So it's very precious. It's the only one of its kind. So we had to be very delicate with the car. It's a very important car in this film. The family escapes all the natural and terrestrial problems going on around it, and yet the car survives and the car does its job, and it's epic. We had to do a car dealership, so we actually had a lot of help from Lexus corporate to help us get the logos ready or right. The interior design, we used their newest looks that we worked with them to make sure that we were accurate in what we portrayed. They gave us 5 vehicles that we could showcase. They were, terrific and supportive in every aspect of their vehicles. And it works for the movie. NASA's Mission Control is an iconic place. It's really, once you've seen it in an image bank or visit it, you realize the power and the impression that it gives you. And the focus of the first impact of the moon coming out of orbit happens to be in the NASA Mission Control. The monitors, there's 80 some odd monitors within the set itself. Each had to be created, all the graphics had to be created, the giant screen wall had to be created. We had to set up the different departments on where certain specialists would sit and how that works within NASA itself. It had to connect to a bit of a command and control center in the backside of the set piece, and then a hallway that led us outside. I'm really excited about the humanity and the joy in these characters and the way they handle themselves in an incredibly scary situation. I think the scale of the event is going to be so large, it's almost impossible to imagine. But at its core, there's these great characters, and they really love one another, and there's laughter, there's pressure, there's love lost, there's tensions between them, yet at the same time, we're all human, and they work it out, and it gives me hope for the future. Well, I think every one of the sets in the movie are important. They're characters within themselves, and if I do my job right, no one will ever know we did a job. So I think for my gang, what's understated is the best. But really what happens is you use real things to make the impossible that much more accessible, and you can understand it and really empathize with the characters within it. And we had so many different people, so many different incredible artists, technicians, you name it. We've all worked together during COVID. We're very safe, very specific about how fortunate we are to be working right now. Montreal was a godsend of being able to work here because of the humanity and the people. And we all respected the issues at hand. We all really wanted to stay safe. We want to do things and employ people and create something that makes people smile and forget about life for a moment.